This podcast is about flaws and identifying flaws in a text. So a flaw is a fault in the reasoning. It always weakens an argument. And what that means is that any conclusion that's been drawn cannot be fully supported because it's flawed, it's got something wrong with it. So your job is to try to work out where the flaw is in the reasoning to be able to explain what the problem is. So what do you need to know? Well, there are 12 flaws that you need to know, and this is one of the things in critical thinking where you actually have to learn definitions. So you should learn these word for word because you're going to need these in your answer. So learn the 12 flaws. So let's try an example. So a leaflet came through my door today and it said, we can believe what the Bible says because God is the creator of life. And instantly I thought, I'm not sure if that actually works, if the reason God is the creator of life supports the conclusion we can believe what the Bible says. I think it's flawed. So I've got 12 flaws to pick from, and I can kind of dismiss some of them straight away. Things like ad hominem, it's not really attacking anybody. I can get rid of restricting the options because it's not two options there. 2KK I can get rid of. It's not saying that someone's actions are based on something else. No slippery slope there. So I can start ticking them off. So if I need to think exactly what is wrong with the reasoning, well, I don't think that God is the creator of life is actually a reason why you should believe the Bible. God is the creator of life comes from the Bible, but in itself it's not a reason why you should believe the Bible. A reason why you might say that you should believe the Bible is because thousands of people have believed it for years and years. The majority of the planet believe it, but to say that God is the creator of life doesn't really support it. So I think that that is an unrelated conclusion. That conclusion here doesn't actually directly link with the reason that's being given. So how would I write that? So they'll always ask you to name the flaw and explain how that doesn't work in the reasoning. So I've decided it's an unrelated conclusion. So the first thing is to give the definition of an unrelated conclusion. An unrelated conclusion is where the conclusion is not supported by a relevant reason, they do not link properly. So it's just a definition of unrelated conclusion, nothing else. Now I'm going to put it in context of the flaw that we read by referring to the text that is there. So in this case, it's a nice little phrase to start off with because then that says that you're applying it to the actual flaw that you've seen. God being the creator of life is not a valid reason that supports why we should believe in the Bible. It's just a belief from the Bible. So I've used the words from the flaw to explain why it doesn't support the conclusion. Let's try another one. Today I was reading the newspaper and I was reading an article by Jeremy Clarkson in The Sun, and he said if we're being realistic we cannot rely on wind to power our kettle and our central heating. The only solution is nuclear. So same thing again, let's have a look at the 12 that we've got here. Well, again, we can knock out ad hominem. It's not unrelated because nuclear is definitely a way that we can power things, and wind is definitely a way that we can power our kettles and our central heatings. I can also knock out things like 2KK. It's not saying that we should act in a certain way because of someone else. But what I can see is he's saying the only solution. So I've said there is a solution, wind power, but he's saying that the only solution is nuclear. So he's only saying that there's two solutions to providing energy for our kettles and central heating. Well, that's not actually true. There are other things other than nuclear and wind power. So he's restricted the options. He's only given two options when actually there are many more. So let's see how that works. Again, name the flaw, explain the reasoning. So I've gone for restricting the options. Definition of restricting the options is where you present only two options in a situation when there are in fact more available. And in this case, Clarkson offers wind power or nuclear power when in fact there are more energy sources available, e.g. solar power.